Hi, I'm Gail and welcome back to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com. Today we're going to make a flourless carrot cake. Now I've taken this recipe from a cookbook from Dessert Angel. It's a cookbook that I've added onto my site. I'm really impressed with it. Now she is really health minded, like she's using pasteurized eggs, everything organic. You don't have to do that, but at least you've got awesome recipes. Now, a lot of her recipes are higher in carbs, but there's a lot that are lower in carbs too. And we must remember, I know we want lower carbs, but we also want to eat healthy. So even if you have people in your family that don't really eat the low carb, you could at least be baking desserts that are healthy for them. The carb count may be higher, but you're using, maple syrup, you're using fresh stuff, good stuff, which makes a big difference in our bodies because there's a lot of garbage out there. I'm telling you, all this processed stuff that we've been eating has just been terrible for us. So anyway, Dessert Angel is the name of the Dessert Angel is the name of the cookbook, and we're going to make this flourless carrot cake. So I hope you enjoyed as much as I have. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put all our dry ingredients in at the same time and mix it well. So I've got 2 cups of almond flour. Now you can buy the almond flour already made up. I get mine at Costco. Actually, the last time I was there they didn't have any. I was a little disappointed. Or you can get it in a health food store. Sometimes in the grocery stores in the organic section. Bob Mills, they have it there also. It's about $15. I can't remember the size of the package, but it is expensive. Or you could take your almonds that aren't blanched and you can put them in the food processor and grind them up, which I have done many a time, but I've been using the white, the blanched almond flour. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in a teaspoon of guar gum. Now guar gum is a thickener, and we're putting all the dry ingredients together because we want to mix them all together, and the guar gum should mix quite well in there. 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. Now I myself buy the baking soda at the bulk barn here in Ontario, and it's aluminum free, gluten free. I try and stay clean as I possibly can, so if you can get it aluminum free, that would be good because it really is not healthy for you. 1/8 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. So now I'm just going to take my whisker and I'm going to whisk it to blend all the dry ingredients together. So we're just going to mix this all together so we have all our spices and our guar gum and everything, dry ingredients mixed well together. And I'm not going exactly by her instructions, but I'm sure my results are going to be the same. So now since I've got that blended in quite nicely, I'm going to set it aside and I'm going to get another bowl here. And we are going to take 2 eggs and 2 egg whites. Now I've saved the yolks because there's many a time that I'll just scramble the yolks. I do not waste them. I want to keep them. So we're going to work on putting all our wet ingredients together. So I've got 1.5 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla. Actually, we were in Mexico a while back and I bought a great big container of their pure vanilla and it's so good. And then I have 2 teaspoons of lemon zest. Now, it worked out. There's my lemon that I used, and I just scraped off the rind off of the lemon, and it worked out to be 2 teaspoons with this size of a lemon. And the last thing we're going to put in is stevia in the liquid form, and I have 9 drops that I've put into this bowl. And that's the nice thing with her recipe book. She explains the sweeteners that she's using, what a pinch is. A pinch is 3 drops of stevia, that sort of thing. So you need to read, you know, the very beginning, her little guidelines, and it's quite written out very nicely. The photos are very nicely. The whole thing it's easy to do. Now we're just going to get our electric beater and we're going to beat this together. So I'm just going to stop for a minute. Now what I'm going to be doing is our dry mixture. I'm going to put 1/3 of it in, mix it in here, and then I've got 2 cups and 1/4 of shredded carrots that I'm going to also add in. So what I did was I used my shredder and my food processor, and then I took it out, put the blade in, and just put it in for seconds, pulsing a little bit so that I'd have shredded, like a nice finer shredded carrot. So I'm going to do 2 1/4 cup of the carrots. So we're going to just start adding in a bit at a time and mix it up. Now myself, I just tasted it and I felt it needed to be a little bit sweeter, and I could be wrong, but I am going to put in a tablespoon of erythritol. I'm going to blend this up. So we'll just set this aside for a minute, and now we're going to get our springform pan, and in her directions she's got 8 by 9, but when I measure mine, mine's 9 by 9, so I guess whatever, you know, around that size that would work. And if this is the one where it's got the little spring on it so that you can take the bottom out. Better make sure I've got that in there right. Take the bottom out when the cake is done, and it works perfect. So we're going to take butter, and I use parchment paper usually, and for years I would use Kleenexes because that's what my mom always taught me, and you know, finally I kind of realized I'm putting a lot of lint into my baking dish, so I started using parchment paper instead. So I will just do the sides and the bottom, and then we will pour our batter in. There we go. Just take your spatula, get your batter here. And when I did the carrots, in her description she was saying 2 large carrots will probably equal to 2 1/4 cups, whereas I had to use 2, the biggest ones I had, and 2 of them and half of another one. So we're just going to spread this around here. Just kind of give it a shake and try to make it as equal as possible. And it's going to go in the oven at 350, and she states about 50 minutes. So let's do that and we'll see what the results are. So here is my low-carb flourless carrot cake, and it was from Dessert Angel Cookbook. She has some really good recipes, she really does. I've already taken a little piece off of it just to give it a little taste, and it's very moist. It's about 1 inch thick. I highly recommend you put parchment paper on the bottom of the pan because it's easier to get out. Now I used a flat knife and I peeled, it was long and I scraped it off the bottom and it came out nice and clear. But why work so hard? Definitely use parchment paper, and I'll put that on my blog also. So this is quite nice. The Dessert Angel, she has some awesome recipes, like I said. A lot of them are higher in carb count. There's many that are in low carb count also, but it's an excellent healthy dessert cookbook. So if you'd like, you can go to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com and you can find the cookbook on the right hand side of my site, or the link that I will have on YouTube for this cookbook. Anyhow, you take care and try this recipe and try my other recipes. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.